Hello everyone and welcome to TIP Annual Conference 2022, themed The Parenting Advantage. We're bringing you coaches from all over the world, from Nigeria, Australia, Germany, Canada, the USA, and the United Kingdom, even India. Get ready, your mind will be blown, your parenting game will be lifted high. You want to be a part of this. My name is Joy Unspeakable and I am the official MC of the Intentional Parents Academy. See you. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are back for the grand finale. Who is excited? I am super excited and I'm so happy to be back here with you. Thank you so much, the TIP Academy, and to Coach Wendy. Are you ready for the parenting advantage? Are you ready? So now this is the moment you've all been waiting for. But before I bring in Coach, I want to take a quick inner circle testimonial before we go into the grand finale. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Please.
Everyone, my name is Ijama Uchenya and I'm here to share a little bit about my journey in the inner circle. You know, prior to this time, I used to be that mom who was so busy, who bought tablets for her son so that she could have time. But that caused a lot of damages. And being in the inner circle has taught me so much, giving me a lot of knowledge, which I implemented, you know, in getting my son to be who he is right now. It is an amazing journey. We've been taught a lot of amazing things that I've never heard in my life. Not just my son, I've been transformed already. Like, is it the emotional intelligence or Coach Wendy said that, do you think it is only you that wants to be proud of your son, that your son also wants to be proud of you? I took up that challenge. I used to be a very timid person. I don't speak in public. But after that day, I took it up. I had groups. I volunteered to, talk. Right now, I'm about to speak in my son's school come this graduation. Like, it's been amazing, an amazing journey. I want to encourage you. Are you this mom who is thinking that it's too late or there is no remedy? There is. Come to inner circle. Coach Wendy doesn't teach theory. She teaches practical. She guides, like she gives you step by step on what to do. So I encourage you to enroll and see for yourself. Thank you.
Hello, we are back. We are back. Like we've been saying, if you're not in the inner circle, please go and book a slot. Go and book a slot. Do yourself, your children, your generation a favor and book a slot and change the narrative. All right. So before I bring you the parenting bishop, Mama Cathedra, Mommy One of parenting, I want you to quickly go, call your friends, call your family, call everybody, call your neighbors, gather all of them, tell them to come listen to the parenting advantage. I'm giving you a minute, do whatever you have to do. All right? So we're waiting for you. We need for you to know that something is happening tonight. Go and tell your friend, remind them, remind everybody around you that the parenting bishop is about to speak. It's the anointing service. It's the icing on the cake. It's the moment we've been waiting for. And then while you're at that, tell the TIP Academy, thank you. Do that. Tell the team, thank you. See, give your thanks right now for this conference, for the human resource, the relationship, that currency that's been spent Say something nice to the academy for the background work. Trust me, the background work is way, way more than what you see. I want to read some of your comments in the chat room. And please invite your friends right now. You know your coach is about to come. You know how she loves it. Drop the fire emojis in readiness to receive my coach. Now, before my coach comes up, let's have a bio. I know you already know her, but let's have coach's bio. Quickly, take it away.
Wendy Logan is the foremost parent coach in Africa who believes that her calling to parent will change the next generation of people in Africa. She is the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy, www.theintentionalparentacademy.com, a coaching outfit dedicated to equipping parents and intending parents to intentionally raise their children positively, especially in the face of our decaying societal values. Wendy aims to lead parents with everything it takes to raise an excellent child mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically. Because she believes that parenting the next generation better is the way to have a better world tomorrow. She helps parents parent with peace and calm. She believes that parenting is not about tips and hacks, but a process that walks a child through the 18 years of their lives with the parent as a guide. The Intentional Parent Academy's several programs and courses help parents run through a process that helps them raise their children intentionally. TRP Academy runs the famous Inner Circle program for parents, a program that takes parents through a yearly process that have impacted families and generations to come. She is the author of many best-selling parenting books, including Connect to Correct, Walking Your Child Through Puberty, The Discipline That Works, From Yelling to Calm, Resolving Sibling Rivalry, Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, and 18 other parenting guides. Her books and parenting guides have sold over 100,000 copies across the nations of the earth. Wendy is the first African and Nigerian to sit on the board of the International Day of Calm. She also runs an online community on Facebook called The Intentional Parent with over 100,000 members as at today. Via this group, Facebook selected her among 100 others and the group in the globe to be a global leader, leading communities for the circles in Abuja. Facebook selected her group to flag off the first parenting subscription group in Africa. Wendy has spoken on many stages, including being interviewed by the biggest Christian TV network in Africa, Christian Broadcasting Network (CBN) Africa, on their famous TV program, The 700 Club, twice in 2019 and 2020. This interview has been aired on both international and national TV stations, including TBN, which is the largest Christian television network in the world, and Channels Television Nigeria. She has also spoken in the Nigerian government establishments, including the Lagos State Government House, and been interviewed by several top media houses in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. In October 2019, Wendy represented Africa at the Facebook Global Parenting Panel at their headquarters in California, United States. Her group, The Intentional Parent, was recognized as one of the most relevant and engaging parenting groups in Africa in 2019 by Facebook. On the 1st of October 2020, at the Facebook Community Summit, Wendy was named by the Facebook team as one of the people building relevant groups globally. Wendy is also the convener of famous online parent conference, the Intentional Parent Conference, a global annual program for parents to help transform their generations to come. In 2021, she was named one of the top female coaches in the world by the Divine Purpose magazine, United States of America, and was featured on Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS News USA. Wendy is also the executive director of Smart Office, a corporate organization with a focus on developing businesses through capacity building, provision of service workspaces and hostels for students. Her work experiences include years in international non-governmental organizations with over 10 years of experience in USAID leading projects. Wendy also has experience in the banking sector. She likes to refer to her husband as the governor and the god. Their union of over 13 years is blessed with 2 biological children, a set of twins, and 1 foster daughter who is married. Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome to the TIP Annual Conference 2022, Wendy Logan.
Welcome to the TIP Annual Conference 2022. The coach of coaches, the parenting bishop, the one and only Wendy Logan of our time, the one making Nigeria proud, the one who is an authority in parenting in the world. We're not talking Nigeria, we're not talking Africa, we're talking the world. Welcome, Coach Wendy Logan. Welcome, Coach. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much,
I'm so excited to see you like I've never seen you before. Welcome, Coach. And to the audience, do you have your notepads ready? The anointing is about to fall. You snooze, you lose. Don't say I didn't warn you. Welcome, ma'am. We are ready for you.
Thank you so much, Joy, unspeakable, and shout out to all of you down at the comment section. I can see the comment section buzzing, but you know, I would pay less attention to the comment section so that I can concentrate on what it is that I want to teach you this evening. Because the truth of the matter is that for the people that are called for our times, we've been called to bring you good tidings in our times, and you know, it will be a disservice to me to start to read the things that are written on the to you on the comment section and then leave the message that I have been told to bring to you this evening. I honor you all. I thank you. Thank you for staying strong all of the way. It's been 7 whole days speaking back to back. And hey, we're here to bring you the subject, the parenting advantage. I'm going to go straight to the conversation of the day because I have so much to tell you. The parenting advantage. Parenting is hard in itself. So it's either you come hard or you go home. There are no middle grounds. If you are parenting, the only way to come is to come hard. You know, many of the times in the inner cycle, I tell the parents in the inner cycle when they come, oh, coach, this is really hard. I say, you must choose your hard. And you must choose it intentionally. Now, the question will be, how do I become an advantage to my child and not a disadvantage? You've heard me say severally, shared a lot in the past. You know, I'm going to start this conversation with a story on how I started public speaking. I was telling someone recently that my first experience into public speaking was my father. My father would stand me up on the podium and say to me, look at my eyes, look over my eyes, and literally teach me how to speak in public. Now, and he held me accountable to the system of leadership growing up. So I was a prefect, primary school, secondary school, university. I played in the SUG, system. So my father was the opinion that you must be held accountable for leadership. So I went through, it was a taboo to go through school without a prefectship. It was a taboo for me. And that was an advantage for me. Now, when I started my work life, it was so easy, for the system and international organization to see me and, get me to the point where they needed me to lead training. I have been privileged to train the high and the mighty all over Nigeria. And of course, on practice, I was able to hone my skill on being able to actually speak in public. Now, where did that start from? Now, when I got into that system, I had an advantage over my peers. The reason is simple. I had a parenting advantage. It wasn't my school. It wasn't my education. If you've ever worked for an international organization, you understand exactly what I mean. Because your skills are the things that count. Now, the question will be, the shirt I wore just before, at the previous session says, I am an advantage to my child, not a disadvantage. What will a child say that because you raised them, that you became? Now, the question will be, how do I become an advantage to my child? How? I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things that you must do if you must become an advantage to your child. If not, you become a disadvantage, literally. Number one is growth. growth. I want to say something that's, very interesting. And I'm sure you've heard every time people telling you, oh, your first assignment is to parent, you need to be parent, you need to be a parent. The first assignment you have as a parent is not parenting. The first assignment you have as a parent is never parenting. The first assignment you have as a parent is growth. Because if you're not growing, you can't even parent in the first place. Now, the mystery behind raising children who will have an advantage because no one ever, this is the mystery. Nobody can ever deliver beyond their capacity. So growth is the mystery behind raising a child that will have an advantage. I've said countless times that if your parenting isn't changing you, you're not parenting. That's how I am. That's who I am. That's how I want to be. That is not you parenting. The moment you begin to parent, you begin to actually grow. Your first assignment as a parent is not parenting, is growth. When God gave us the parenting assignment, He literally placed a trust on you. Because when people ask me what is parenting, I say parenting is you becoming a co-creator with God. So God sees you and says to you, I can trust that this person can co-create with me. God doesn't parent people, but God trusts people to do the job for them or with Him. So because He understands systems and principles, which, by the way, God holds Himself accountable to. So you understand it. So to provide that parenting is a responsibility. So because God understands systems, God understands, principles, God has created a system that entrusts you to become that person who will raise someone. So the moment you become a parent, your first assignment becomes to grow. Because you need to become something for you to actually impact on another person. So when God finds you, He's trusting you to co-create with Him. I didn't say co-parent. Co-create. Co-create. You're a creator when you become a parent. You're a creator. That's why human beings raised Jesus. That's why Jesus was not raised by angels. Jesus was raised by humans. So God's agenda is for thy kingdom to come. That's God's agenda. Is for thy kingdom to come. Now the question is, how do you play a role in thy kingdom come? How? As an individual, as a parent. Being successful in life and living out purpose is your contribution to the universal plan of thy kingdom come. So when you become a parent, you are held responsible to discipling another person's destiny. And that destiny is a part of thy kingdom come. It was a quote that somebody was sharing today and said that God can take you out. It was yesterday, Isaac Onoja. God can take you out if He finds out that you are being an impediment to the destiny He has created for your child. Yes, God can actually take you out, as in just take you out, so that His kingdom will come. So parenting is discipleship. It's about shaping a destiny. This is why when parents come to me and say, I don't have time, I'm sad. You are given an opportunity to actually shepherd a destiny, and the first thing you say is, I don't have time. After God has entrusted you with another destiny that can actually make up, the whole. We can't take territories without understanding the seriousness of our role as parents. For us to take territories, we need to actually understand how serious this role is. Now, the race of destiny is like relay race. That's how the race of destiny is, relay race. If you do not pass a baton, someone is waiting for you to pass the baton over to another person. So you as a parent, you can actually stop your child from fulfilling destiny because of the way you're raising your child. And what would you have done? You would have stopped your child from being able to pass a baton to the next, person. Thereby, you will be failing in your assignment of God as a parent. and you must have failed in God's agenda of thy kingdom come. So every time I see, what God is doing in, the academy, families being transformed, and the truth is, like Olakunle Shoyinka said at his first session, this is not business, it's a sacred responsibility. That's what it is. There's an energy beyond human energy that motivates us to do what we do, to fulfill destiny. So you must be motivated from a standpoint that is higher than money, that is higher than fame, that is higher than achievement as a parent. So your standpoint of motivation, must be it's different. It's not about, oh, I want my child to become the next. It is about the agenda of thy kingdom come in fullness. Your growth is as a parent, it is what kills the potential for tiredness. Let me say that again. Your growth as a parent is the thing that kills potential for tiredness. So if you're getting weary on your journey, it means you're not growing. When you don't grow, there's always trouble. The more you grow in every area, it literally translates to the efficacy of your parenting, naturally. So your parenting advantage to your child is directly proportional to how you grow as a parent. Let me say that again. Your parenting advantage to your child is directly proportional to how you grow as a parent. I like to always say, experience is vital, but familiarity is the enemy of growth. Experience, very vital. But the moment you get into familiarity, it becomes an enemy of growth. Because it's not always the right guide for parents. Experience. Oh, I'm experienced. Oh, I have parented 10 children before. I've parented 10 children before. You must not be so loyal to what you have experienced that you forget. Your believability quotient is the most important factor in becoming your child's advantage. Let me say that again. Your believability quotient is the most important factor in becoming your child's advantage. How does it work? You create a vision, you believe in it, and you are able to run with it. Now, let me even share with you when I say believe. Do you even believe that you can raise someone, your child to be better, or that you have something to offer because you are the parent? Do you even believe that? After believing, there's a place for believing. There's a place for believing. After believing, when people talk about believing, and Jesus, there are some things you believe that doesn't transform you. Every single one of us believes that Jesus is a good man. Does it transform you? It's a good information, it's a beautiful information, but it does nothing. We all believe that Jesus was born of a virgin. That's true, but it's not enough. Now, there is a message that you must believe about Jesus that actually transforms you, that gives you access to salvation. The truth of the matter is that many of us don't believe. We don't believe enough. How do I know? From what we pray. When we pray, we immobilize our prayers. We are a very praying nation, but when it's time to move, we don't move. We don't move. And we pray, our prayer is out of fear. You pray out of fear because there's nothing really backing up that thing. You need to believe. And what you're believing, that's the question. What is that vision? A visionless parent is a parenting disadvantage to their child. You have no vision. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what is happening. You know, I usually hear, the quote, vision without action is just a dream. But I say that action without vision is a nightmare. A lot of you are running. You're parenting, no vision. You are parenting, but there is no vision. You're just running. They tell you, where are you running to? Nowhere. Your children don't know what you believe. They don't understand what the family is about. You're just running. It's a nightmare. Vision without action is just a dream. But I say that action without vision is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Now, after believing, there's another level, transformation. It's after believing that you begin to transform. There can never be any form of transformation without you believing that it's possible. So that's why when parents come into the inner circle, the first thing, once you send me a chat and say, are you sure that this is really going to work? I look at you like you're not a candidate for me. That's the truth. Because already you don't even know what you believe in. You're not even sure what it is that you believe in. You become so, when you get to the point of transformation, you believe, you begin to practice and get to transformation. And then when you get to the point of transformation is what creates empowerment. After transformation, you are empowered. See, there's something, like Bishop Oyedepo will say, only fools doubt proofs. The moment you become transformed, you have the grace to be able to share some things. Transformation. I've seen a lot of parents who got into the inner circle, and the first 1 month, hey, this is not working. But right now, many of them are on the journey of transformation, and they have moved to empowerment. Now, many of them can boldly go to their schools, their children's school, and say, you know what? What I'm practicing is working, and I need you to actually come with me. And then after transformation, you become more confident. Empowerment, you become more confident, and you are able to tell others. Empowerment creates compassion, humility, and character. That's the next place you're now going to. Now, when you now become empowered, you now begin to see the other people. Many times when I see parents who say, I must beat my child, that's the only way. I feel compassion on you. That's what I feel. You believe, you transform, you get empowered, and that is what creates compassion, humility, and character. At the beginning of my journey, I used to actually get angry. What is it that you can't understand about not hitting a child? But now it's created some sort of compassion in me. I look at it from another angle. I'm like, yeah, if this person knows better, this person would actually be able to actually live better. It's actually terrible to be in a place and not agree. It's better to go away. The Bible said that being neither here nor there, it will profit you nothing. I remember that in the story where all the sons of the prophet, that was Elijah, they couldn't partake of his grace. It was only Elisha that was able to partake of that grace. So if you've been on this call and you've been like, what are they even saying? It will profit you nothing. You will not be able to actually have access to it. But let's move on. The next one, which is number 2, knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is not information and counsel. Knowledge and wisdom is not information and advice. It's not the same thing. Advice is different. Information, I'll tell you the difference. Wisdom is not advice. You must get tired of legitimizing ignorance. You see ignorance, you need to get tired of it. You need to get tired of being in a place where everything you're just, doing is just all about, what I know and all of that. You need to actually come from the place of just information to wisdom and to knowledge. What you have heard at this conference is information. It is going to remain information except you actually are able to translate it to knowledge and wisdom. I'll tell you why and how. Children who are raised with knowledge and wisdom are not easy to be deceived. If you don't raise your children with knowledge and wisdom, they are so easy to destroy. You know, Psalm 82 verse 5 says, "Thou know not, neither do they understand." That's why there's a failure system. You don't know, you don't understand. That's what we'll call every learning. You know, that's what the Bible says, ever learning and never coming to knowledge. You are on one stream to another. You are ever learning information, but you don't come to knowledge. Because knowledge is not information. So every time a word is sown, Satan also looks around as well. So when you're getting at this conference, like I said, is advice, information, not knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is being able to know with exactitude the outcome of the things you desire. Let me say that again. Knowledge is being able to know with exactitude the outcome of the things you desire. So when people tell me, "Oh, does this work?" and I say, no. See, I know what it is that I'm doing. That's what knowledge does. With exactitude. With exactitude. I know it's a system. Knowledge is about systems. It's about a process. So when you call me, I'm able to repeat the process for you. That's what knowledge is. It's not information. Neither is it advice. Now, this is what mastery is about. The Bible says that he that strives for mastery is not crowned except he strives lawfully. How do you strive lawfully? Knowledge. No one wins an Olympics by mistake. So knowledge is being able to know with exactitude the outcome of the things that you desire. Exactitude. There's no error. No one wins Olympics by mistake. Watch it. Everyone who gets to the final is a champion from his country. There's a reason. It's called the 100-hour Tactile rule. There's a rule that says that what you practice with, for 100 hours, you become a master in it. That's mastery. So what you get on Google is information. Information overwhelms. Knowledge doesn't. Knowledge doesn't. So kings are made with knowledge, not just information. Knowledge that profits you is not tips and hacks. It is methodological, as in you put it in a method. It has to go through a method. You must be very, your process must be put in systems for success. That's what brings mastery. That's what brings mastery. So until information goes through a process, it never becomes knowledge. It remains an idea. It's only knowledge when data is processed. Information are ideas, they are facts, they are tips, they are hacks, they are statistics, they are concepts. It's just the entry level. It's not open for interpretation. Facts are facts. You cannot fit your ideas into it. So facts are puzzles of pieces, puzzle pieces. That's why information overwhelms, but knowledge doesn't. Because knowledge is a completed puzzle, while information are just individual puzzles. How do you put that into perspective? Knowledge only happens when you are able to put things into systems. What are systems? We're talking about rituals, we're talking about connections, we're talking about conversations, concepts, communication. We're talking about a repetitive process. Repetition is what brings persuasion. So knowledge is built by scaffolding information. If not, the working memory can act. It becomes crippled. There's something called the working memory. The working memory is part of the executive functioning skills. So it can act when it's just information, when you cannot scaffold it. So you can actually become worse after attending a conference like this. Not because what was shared was not valuable, but because you've not been able to translate it to knowledge. That's why the Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Information is everywhere. So information remains an information if it's not systematically put together, what the brain does is that it considers it relevant. It considers it irrelevant because it's just an information after a while. And then the brain puts it in a memory bin. That's so that they can make room for other useful, data. So for the brain to notice any information, it must go through not just sharing, but sieving and systematizing it, and then it becomes knowledge. That's how the brain can recognize. Sorry, I'm being a bit, going through a bit science right now. But let's move from there. The next one is your environment. And under this, your environment, we're talking about your community. We're talking about what I call your parenting partners. We're talking about the systems that is in your home. I heard MB call it the environment advantage. If you must have a parenting advantage, you must understand how the environment your child lives in works. So, for instance, if you're raising your child in Abuja, there's a high proportion. So, I was telling my friends and I said, we're raising children in Abuja. It means that drug conversation is at the top chart of our parenting. You must be able to actually understand where you are raising your child and how that environment affects, gives you either an advantage or a disadvantage, and what you must do to be able to, bridge that gap. Abuja is a drug-laden environment for young people. So if you're raising a child in Abuja and you're not paying attention to something like drug conversations, you will be a disadvantage to your child because you're ignorant. You're ignorant. So your child is going abroad. Have you put that country in perspective, in the environment that it has? Now I'm talking about physical environment. Coach Obafemi said, Sam Obafemi said earlier that even where you live, the productivity is productivity to think about where you live, not just activity. So what we do is that we are, running around. You're not even thinking of where you're living. I've shared a story before. I said I had, a lot of parenting advantage. My father lived in a place, in an environment, and we were not even born. My father said every day he came back to that environment and he would see a lot of people in that environment, just doing things anyhow. The young people, I say he kept asking himself, is this where my children will grow? He said as he kept asking himself these questions, he realized that he was in the wrong environment. He said he left his rent running as a young man just starting life and moved to a more decent environment because he said to me, I recognize that environment where my child will grow will either be an advantage to me or a disadvantage. So anytime we get into a city, I remember when I was just, starting off as a single person, or even my brothers get into a city, my father would say, pay anything to live in a sanest environment ever. I taught you that. Do not forget it. Environment. What kind of environment do you have in your home? Now we're taking it to the home. What kind of environment are your children going in? An environment where everywhere is chaotic. Everybody's screaming. Everywhere is no peace. There's no plan for peace. In the inner circle, I taught the parents in the inner circle how to create a peace plan. There is a plan. I told you that peace is a skill. There's a plan on how to create a peace plan. The environment you're raising your children. What is the emotional stability of that environment? Now, what are the opportunities for learning? Sharing stories, how you're reading. What are the opportunities for learning in that environment? And I go to the most important part when it comes to environment, relationships. I think Taiwo Akinlami made it clear what I wanted to say about relationship. What about, it's important that you get to a point where you begin to look at relationship as part of the tools in parenting. So I've been on this call for God since 3, 4. My children have been to a birthday party of another friend. I'm here, seated here. Now, because of what? My community, relationships. See, you cannot parent successfully without actually creating a system. I say I teach, there are skills in retaining circles. There are skills in making friends. There are skills in ensuring that you are actually doing things the way it must be done. You need to begin to understand that these things are no longer, it's no longer business as usual. So your environment, I usually say that in parenting, your children will get to a place where you are no longer going to be the most influential person. See, it's not a cause. See, it's not a prayer point. You will not be. It goes like this. The most influential person in that line, from the time your child turns 10, 11 and above, it will become their peer group. Number 2 will be other adults. Number 3 will be pop culture. And then you go to the 4th floor. That's where you begin to fight your teenagers. Is at that place. You'll not be fighting. Oh, dear, I said something. He did not listen to me. Because you lack knowledge. You didn't understand. One of the first things that you learn when you get into the inner circle is that you learn how to create a social roadmap for your Gen Z. You learn how to create a social roadmap for your Gen Z. If you don't create a social roadmap, your child, that other adult, is going to come into the life of your child and you will not be there. It can be anybody. How intentional are you in creating the environment that your child, or are you just sitting down and saying, no, God forbid, my children are not going to be interacting with people? You do them a disservice, because in the world, in 30 years to come, people who understand collaboration will stand an 80% better chance to influence their world more than the other children. And we're having children, over and again these days who do not even know, who do not have any form of social skills. Something very pretty, very much worrisome. What relationships are you building? What kind of relationship are you teaching your children to build? Who is in that circle? There was something Coach Ebuka was sharing during his session. Coach Ebuka said that the woman that was told to go and borrow stuff from the neighbors, that means he had a good relationship with the neighbors. So relationship has become part of your parenting system. So when I teach parents, you need to go and get a system that supports you. One of the things that if you cannot make friends is a problem. You actually have a problem, because one of the core needs of man is connection. Connection is one of the core needs of man. So if you find yourself where I just want to be on my own, I don't want to have friends, I don't want to be close to anybody, there is something wrong with you. And then if you are that parent who is constantly telling your children, must you have friends? Must you have friends? You're doing your children a disservice by doing that. Because you don't want your children to be influenced. Your children will be influenced whether you say it or you don't say it. Because peer pressure is compulsory. Even you and I, we have peer pressure every day. The question will be, what exactly have you built to actually be able to help your children withstand those peer pressure? And see, peer pressure is not a bad thing. It is negative peer pressure that is a problem. It's not a bad thing. All of us are pressurized. There is positive peer pressure. I put my children into a system that we call peer influencing. Your children can be in a system where they are influenced by their peers, where they are motivated by their peers. But because you haven't armed your child how to even make those kind of connections, how to create those kind of systems, then of course, your child won't be able to. So your child will keep, if your children are always making the wrong friends, there is something wrong with what you are equipping them with. It's not the fault of the child, it is your fault. You're not teaching them what to do. Relationships. So nature and nurture. Environment is part of that nurture. It is said that nature loads the gun, nurture pulls the trigger. Nature. So children come with all of the things, loaded and all of that. But it's your nurture that pulls the trigger. That takes me to what Pastor Favosri said. The problem is not with the arrow, because our children are arrows in the hands of the mighty man. The problem, all right? The problem is not in the arrow. The problem is not in the arrow. The problem is in the shooter. So nature loads the gun, right? Nature loads the gun. Nurture pulls the trigger. Nurture pulls the trigger. If the trigger is pulled from your end, where will it get to? It is in the systems. Is in your capacity. That's what we actually be able to help you. It is a disaster to have an arrow in the hands, any implement in the hands of somebody that is untrained. It's a disaster. Just go and give a gun to an untrained person to shoot a gun. My goodness. The person can just enter a place and just shoot anybody. And that's what many parents are doing today. That's what many parents are doing today. You are holding a gun, loaded, but you don't know how to shoot the gun. So nature has loaded the gun for you, but you can't pull the trigger. Some of us are pulling the trigger and then we're shooting everybody. Let's move on. The next one is culture and curriculum. Culture and curriculum. Every parent who is interested in becoming, all right, an advantage to their child must have a curriculum. There's no other way to say it. Every parent who is interested in becoming an advantage to their child must have culture and curriculum put together. That's where you have principles. That's where you have structures. Bible speaking says they comparing themselves with themselves are not wise. All these things that I teach, I know what I'm doing. After all, I am better than this person that I've been doing. What standard are you comparing with? What principles are you comparing with? I am doing well. By what measure? By what measure? I've said severally that any skill that you see in your child that is not tested is rubbish. You can instill all the skills that is not tested. Who is the marking scheme? And that's why the Bible says the labor of the foolish wearieth them, because they do not know how to go to the city. There is a curriculum. There is a how. There is a how. A curriculum. So you must set a high bar that holds yourself accountable to a system. See, the parenting system is bigger than you. So if your parenting is still revolving around, what I can do, I don't have time, it is time and all of that, then that's a failed system in itself. Do you have a system, a curriculum that holds you accountable, that is bigger than you? That is bigger than you. There's a mandate in my home that you must appear at all school events. So for 6 years when the twins were in primary school, my husband and I did it. Was it easy? No. We're very busy people. But there's a governance. There's something that governs us in our home. So yesterday, even while the TRP conference was on, we were at the speech and prize, giving day. I could see how my son and my daughter beamed with smile when they called them, to take the first and second position in their stream. You could see them look, and just knowing that their parents are there. Does your curriculum, does it hold a place? Does it hold a place that actually holds you responsible? Is there something, a system that is bigger than you? My parenting system is bigger than you, bigger than the parenting, the academy, bigger than everything else. And that's why I can, irrespective of how busy I am, be at every single school event. It is a choice, because we've created a structure and a culture with a curriculum. People come and tell you parenting has no manual. They lie to you. There is a manual. The question will be, all of us are parenting from manuals. Now, but the question will be, what is the content of your manual? Whose manual are you parenting for? What do you know that you are giving out? So whether we have a manual that is documented or one that is not documented, we are all parenting from a manual. Recently, we created the parenting manual. We created the parenting launch plan. How to launch your children for 0 to 18. No, it's not. See, any plan that you don't have written down is not a plan. Any vision that you cannot put down for people to run is not a vision. That's why the Bible says He said, write it down, create a vision, write it down, that he who sees it may run. If your vision is not written, people can't run with it. That's why the children of Abraham could say, the God of my fathers told my father. How did they know? There was something passed to them. That's how they knew. So there's a vision that is bigger, that's documented, that they could find. Does the children even know what it is? Do you even have, something put together that you're parenting from? Anybody can come to your house. Anything can happen. Now, let me say something about faith. Every time we talk about faith, oh, I have faith, I'm praying. Many of us do have zero faith. What is faith? Faith is in the work that you do. Let me tell you what faith is. Faith is us looking at our parenting manual from the time that the twins were 1 and saying that by the time the twins turn 10, we will have no business in the kitchen. That is faith. And by the time they are 10, they are manning the kitchen comfortably without me having to think. The twins are 12 now. That is faith. Faith is in the works that you put in. Faith is us looking at our son and thinking, oh, okay, he hasn't started reading when he's supposed to read. What do I do? Going to go and find the knowledge that will help my son. That is faith. Faith without work is dead completely. So all those you're praying, I'm praying. It amuses me when I see parents say, I'm praying for my children. And when you say, what I am praying for my children. Prayer is a responsibility. In fact, it's a responsibility to actually say, I'm just praying for my children. What's that? You are bragging with it? Do you brag when you feed your children? Do you brag when you feed the children? Like, are you kidding me? When you feed your children, you don't say, I've been giving my son food. You ask a parent, a child has just gone into pornography. What have you been able to do? He said, I've been praying, ma. For the past 2 weeks that I noticed it, I've been praying. I flogged him and I prayed. It's just like you telling me what I've said. I've been giving my child food. I gave him food and I sat down and I was watching. That is not faith. The distance between your miracle and whatever it is that you're praying for is in action. I say it all the time that faith comes from hearing. Miracles come from doing. It is when you do that miracles can happen. There must be a standard. Now, those who win the 100-meter race in Olympics, when you study the 100-meter race in Olympics, those who actually win, they don't get trained with 100 meters. They don't get trained with 100 meters. They get trained with something higher. So every parent has a manual. Many of us are parenting from the manual that we saw from our parents. That's what we're parenting from. Manual. And when you say the parenting has no manual, I see some of the conversation in our community on Facebook. I laugh. Sometimes I'm laughing as an out of compassion, really. So parenting, what will be. You are still at the entry level. See, intentionality breeds intentional results. I am a living testimony. I cannot even, you don't even want to know. Intentional parenting gives you intentional results. The reason why you want 5 children, because you are not sure whether all of them will turn out right, all of them. No. Some of us will raise 1 child that is 1,000 men in one. Because you know exactly what it takes to raise 1 child. It's 1 child that needs to impact. Do you know that the Bible itself, it contains the curriculum for living? And in that curriculum, what it contains, it's not just prayer. It's not just prayer. What it contains are promises, principles, and prophecies. God does not rule the world on love. God rules this world on principles. If God rules the world on love, what God was going to do for Prophet Eli was to help him raise his children, because God loved Prophet Eli, Pastor Eli. It was recorded in the Bible that God was in love with David. Yet God couldn't parent for David. It was recorded that God spoke face to face. I'm praying for my children. God spoke face to face with Moses. Yet Moses didn't do what he was supposed to do. Now, when you receive the manual, people tell me, oh, there's only more Bible is the manual and all of that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, once I get it, and when you receive the manual, how do you even implement it? See, manual, Samson's father received the manual. As a full manual, he couldn't implement it. He couldn't. I have said before that the consequences of a faulty foundation, the consequences of a faulty foundation does not take away, does not go away because you're righteous. Because that's why the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Because even Adam and Eve, the speaker said it in call, that Adam and Eve was speaking to God face to face. The moment they ate that fruit, because God operates on principles and not love. Did he not love Adam and Eve? Yes, he did. But there was a consequence for that, action. So immediately Adam and Eve ate that apple, the consequence, came in. There was a consequence. There was no choice. God rules the world on principles. Your home will need to be governed by principles, manual, culture, structures, not just love. Love is not enough. You can love your child and still destroy your child because you lack the prerequisite knowledge that you actually need for your child. So even if God wants to parent for you, it's impossible. Because God himself holds himself by his word. Do you know that when you cry, when you're praying, God just has compassion on you? Because he said, I will only honor my word. So God himself holds himself to his own principles. So you can sit down and say, oh, I love my child is enough. I can do whatever it is I like. Some parents will say, are you going to know my child better than I do? Some of you don't even know who you are parenting. You don't even know what to look out for. That's even the sad part. Which is why I said, this is why the Bible said, when God was talking about parenting, the Bible said, I trust Abraham that he will command his children. He will. God did not say, I trust that I will help Abraham. No. God said, I trust Abraham because he will command his children. It means that the responsibility to parent is yours. The responsibility to create a curriculum is yours. The responsibility to create, God, there's no curriculum in the Bible. God doesn't say, oh, this is what you need to do. The truth of the matter is that curriculum is your job. He said, I trust Abraham. He did not say, I have given Abraham what to use to train his children. I said, I trust Abraham that he will command his children to be raised in my ways. So it is your responsibility. You are only destroyed when your values are attacked. So implementation is key. Very, very important. The next one is process and seasons. Process and seasons. Process and seasons must play out. Do you know that what you do in parenting is time bound? What you do in parenting is time bound. Praying for a woman to have a child in due season is example of what I mean. So imagine that your friend is pregnant and you're praying that, can God just help her have the child in 3 months? Does that make sense? You think about it. Does that make sense? Can God help my friend have this child in 3? Because there's a season. There's a principle to having a child in those 9 months. If you understand processes and seasons, there are things you won't do, with a child who is at a particular age. So some of us don't want to consider seasons and timings in parenting. In the inner circle in level 3, we always talk about seasons and timing. Seasons and timing. You only reap what you sow. I heard Coach Robina say that one of the problems that we have in parenting today is that parents want to reap what they did not sow. Parents want to reap what they did not sow. That's why you are praying and kabashing. Parenting is seed time and harvest. See, when you read that scripture, it says seed time and harvest. Harvest is continuous. It's not time bound. Seed time. There's a time to plant. Do you know that there are some things you miss from this? I was teaching the parents in the inner circle. Trust is built from 0 to 2. One of the reasons why most of you cannot build relationships is because the trust quotient in your life was destroyed from 0 to 2. You couldn't learn it again. And then the next window of opportunity for learning trust opens when a child becomes a teenager. At that time, you were now being fought. Your parents were fighting you. So you never learned it. That's actually what happened. There are windows of opportunities. The moment you miss it, I have parents say, oh, I'm just starting. My child is just young. A parent sent me a child today and said, oh, when I entered, you just kept, telling me this is the best time to, to start. Now the son is about, about a year. And she said the things that this boy does is just amazing. Why? Parenting advantage of understanding times and seasons. So running from people, with instant result. So when people say, oh, I went to that coach told me that this thing can be done. I don't share tips and hacks. So if you're coming to me and you want me to actually help you, you must do the time. You must do the time. And the earlier you start your journey, the better for you. But you know, being as you want to reap where you did not sow, you reap shame. What you do in parenting is time bound. Don't kid yourself. There are things you can no longer teach teenagers. It's not a course. There are some skills that you start it at a teenage level, you will not be able to deliver. It's not it. That's just it. That's how the human mind is built. The windows of opportunities have been passed, and that's it. You need to run away from people who are offering you, tips, hacks here and there, and all of that. All right? That is even you. There's no magic wand anywhere. There are things that only happens with time. You're hearing this message today. The best thing for you is to start today. The best place for you to begin is today. Today, now. That's the truth. If we don't begin to parent for the future, we'll be sending the next generation into turmoil, especially in Africa. Especially in Africa. Because the truth of the matter is that we're lagging behind. And we need to stand up. We need to stand up. Who your child becomes will be a function of who raised them, how they were raised, where they were raised, and what the person who raised them know. Let me say that again. Who your child becomes will be a function of who raised them, how they were raised, where they were raised, and what the person who raised them know. Your knowledge will either limit your child or will give them an advantage. There are pathways to success. And you want to understand that there are those two pathways to success. I call it the season of preparation and the season of opportunity. And it's gotten from the scripture. Time and chance happened to them all. Time and chance happened to them all. If you're not prepared for anything on the day of manifestation, you will fail. I remember when Tawa Kenlami was just speaking, he said, God's mercy is not what helped the girl. God's mercy actually operates on the things that you know that will help you at the time of need. If you're not prepared for anything on the day of manifestation, you will fail. Now, the season of preparation and the season of opportunity. Time is a season of preparation. How are you preparing to actually be an advantage to your child? The season of opportunity, chance. And you know the truth, it will happen to all of us. It will happen to all of us. So you must understand that it is okay for you to come up one training, the other training, one free training and all of that. There's a limit to what it is that you can learn without systems. You limit yourself, you limit your child, and then you just continue hopping because they are all information, they are all advices, they are all, tips, hacks here and there. They are never put together in a method to profit you. The only way it can profit you is when it's actually been put, together, when it's been put together. Your action. It's important that you understand that this parenting race, it is hard. It's not a parenting plan. It will never come to me. It's not a parenting plan. God forbid, it's not a parenting strategy. I'm praying for my child. It's not a parenting plan. Quote me anywhere. My name is Wendy Logan. So all those, you just want to, God, you just want to use God to cover up for the things that you should have taken responsibility for. you end up just, holding God. God cannot be held accountable for those things. And you know what? Because God is a God of systems and principles, God is just going to be looking at you. There have been a lot of sessions that have, gone through quite a lot, a 3 different parts of parenting. But I tell you, for every one person who is in the inner circle hearing this conference, they heard it differently. I'm not saying it because the inner circle is part of that. They heard it differently. They will say it to you. What they are hearing and how they are going to actually carry the information is totally different from what you will be hearing. Because what you are assessing is information and advice. What they are assessing is knowledge and wisdom, because they have a system where they are processing what they are hearing. And most importantly, they have a system that will hold them accountable to it. There's nothing that has been said in these past 7 days that the parents in the inner circle have not heard. Not one thing. So it's like a repetitive, system that have helped them to conceptualize everything that has been done. So it's coming to you as news, information. It's coming to them as reinforcement. It's coming to them as reinforcement. And let me also say that anytime, if you're on this call and this is your first time you're coming in contact with, parenting, and you're thinking, where is it I'm going to start from? Start today. Start now. Start now. My son and I were working on the parenting launch plan that I put it together recently, and he was saying that there's a lot of education. You would have been educated for a while to be able to understand how to use the launch plan. I said yes. That's why it's for the parents in the inner circle. So it's part of what you're going to use to actually be able to conceptualize a family constitution, a family vision, where you're going to in totality as a family. Remember, you are either an advantage to your child or you are a disadvantage. I don't think there's anything I'm going to say at this conference that would, encompass everything that have been said in this past 7 days amongst over 30 coaches. But every single one thing that they've said, there's a process to pass it through to actually be able to learn it for it to become a better conversation. The question will be, do you have that system? Implementation is the goalposts of every parent. If you do not implement, you can't deliver on any result. So when we tell you that you have results, yes, there is result. And result is what makes all of the difference. The more empowered you become, the more you see yourself, translating. There's nothing you can tell me today. You can't come to me today and say what the child will be, the child will be. It's not possible. I already know that that's not possible. I understand that a child who is going somewhere must have a parent who understands where it is that they are going in the first place. So it's beyond, all right? It is beyond the conversation of what will be. That is you still being at the entry level. There is higher knowledge, and you want to begin to assess that now. And, thank you so much. And, the parents are here. They are saying, we are not afraid, but we are gingered to keep the fire burning. That's it. That's what in a system of knowledge does for you. So many people have been met with a lot of fear at some of these sessions, but it's not fear, it's caution. And the parents in the system understand how to pass it through a system. I'm going to end here because there is no time that is going to, be able for me to say all of the things that I need to say to you. If you want to continue to listen to me, hey, you know where to find me. You know where to find me. You know where to meet me. But remember, who your child becomes will be a function of who raised them, how they were raised, where they were raised, and what the person who raised them know. Thank you very much once again for this conference. Thank you, Joy Unspeakable. And
thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much, Coach. The fire was falling. Indeed. Thank you so much. One thing I'm taking home today is your child. Are you an advantage or a disadvantage to your child? Are you an advantage? Or I think it's food for thought for everyone who attended this conference. Go and think about it and do everything you knew you need to do, everything in your power to become an advantage, because intentional parenting is a movement. Don't be left behind. Coach, thank you so much for bringing the fire tonight. We have a couple of questions, but I think it's mostly questions to do with the inner circle. Some people are having some nervous breakdown. I hope that they make this year's inner circle program, else they have to wait till 2023. The more empowered you are, the more you become an advantage to your child. The more empowered you are. Coach, thank you so much for this conference. Thank you for putting together all of the resourceful speakers you did, over 30 of them. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We thank you. We honor you. All right, so parents, you must be ready to do the time. Coach said you must be ready to do the time. It's either you do it now or you do it later. Coach always says that you are the best, you're the first beneficiary of your parenting. The first beneficiary, good or bad, you'll be the first beneficiary, good or bad, before the society, before the world. You're the first beneficiary. So are you going to be an advantage or a disadvantage? Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you, ma'am, for the fire. Do you have anything else to say to us before we close this conference?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been on this call for the past 7 days. I've seen parents who have actually been, from the beginning, especially Yadas, actually, because you understand that when we are done, we'll go inside and I'm going to chase you. And I'm going to chase you with whatever it is that you need to be chased. And of course, that's one thing that they understand. And it's been an amazing 7 days. It's not just me. I have been
Awesome.
transformed myself. I have been able to learn so much. I have been able to actually gain so much insight on different areas of parenting. And I just want to say to you that what makes the difference in your parenting is not just about what you are having. Trust me, what you're having is not as important as it's about the systems that you find yourself in. It's about the communities that you find yourself in. The truth of the matter is that it might not even just be about what you know. It might just be about the community of support, right? That you find in the academy that actually changes everything. All right. It's just amazing how in 7 months the parents who have been in the academy have been transformed. I've seen parents who have started running businesses, who have had a total mind shift from who they used to be to who they are today. And that's what this is about. I am about transformation. I am about ensuring that we're running this race. My goal is not just you. My goal is the next generation to come. My goal is generations to come. When we leave this place, what are we going to say about ourselves? I want to say thank you to the team. Thank you to all the moderators led by Joy Unspeakable, the amazing one. Thank you so much for leading that. We all find what is essential. Joy is a banker. Yeah, Joy has been on this call every day at all sessions. It's a choice. All right. And I want to say thank you, Joy, to all the moderators, Loretta, Chizurum, Mary Beth, Top Bear, MB, and all of the moderators, and Adewumi, all of the moderators that have been on this call supporting, and doing this with us. We want to say thank you to you. I want to say a special shout out to my PA. My PA probably haven't slept in 7 days. If you know, you know. You can't work with me and be normal. It's not normal. So I'm not normal. So I want to say thank you, Augustine. You've been amazing. And I also want to say thank you to the leads, the person who have led, the systems lead, all right, the operations lead. Thank you, Precious. Precious has, been on her foot, as in, how you're just on one feet, on one, jumping up and down and all of that. And I want to say thank you to all the rest of the tech team, the Teen Success Academy, the Responsible Teens Academy, the Autism Renewed, the Tawakin Lami Academy, the Wisdom Place, all of the people that have worked with us to make sure that this has come, House of Gladness, that this has come to become a reality. We have done this for 5 years, and I've said before, if consistency were to be a name, TIP Academy will bear that name. Because one thing we do is that we have consistently stayed on something for the past 5 years. It's not normal for you to actually do that. There must be something motivating you more than money, more than fame, more than just the noise on social media. You must be motivated by God Himself. That's the way to actually run this in 5 years and not get tired. I don't want to say shout out to everybody who have made this possible. I want to specifically thank the governor, my husband, who is also on this call. And when people say, "Oh, you do a lot" and all of that, if you know how much my husband does in the background, you will know that I probably will. So today I've just lived the baby girl life just because I'm going to speak. I know, I know, giving food on the bed, told to rest my head somewhere and all of that. It's just amazing. And I would always say that the best thing that God has done for me after salvation is my marriage, not even children, my marriage. And I am very grateful to God for you. Shout out to you, the governor. I honor you. I love you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you to my sisters. Joy is ably representing them here. They've been an amazing pillar of support. If I say we need to go this way, they stand up. Before I could finish, they are running with me. If I say, let's go, they don't even ask me. They don't say where. I want to also say shout out to the Save the Boys initiative led by the amazing Coach Ebuka. Coach Ebuka is one person that I've mentored that have been just amazing. You just point hand and Ebuka just runs with me. He doesn't even ask questions. Ebuka, I need your boys to be here. He sends them in split seconds. He doesn't ask me, coach, for what? Or we are doing something. Or we have to be. There's no answer. There are no questions, right? Shout out to Dozier, the Teen Success Academy. They put together all of the video that you can see of the speakers. They worked back to back, doing it every day. Amazing team that we have. All right, Mary Beth leading the parenting through mentorship. I will call Mary Beth now and I say, Mary Beth, you need to be on the call now to moderate now. And she said, boss, I'm there. I'll do anything. All right, I will just do it just right now. I just want to say thank you to you guys. Omolola Okonwa, I want to say thank you to you. Omolola would always look behind and come and say to me, Coach, I hope you're okay. I hope you. And then she goes to do some stuff with Mama Purity at the back, and comes to just at every point in time blow your mind. Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you. I want to say specifically thank you to the inner circle parents in level 3. These parents have believed even when believing was hard. When believing was hard, when it was as if that they couldn't see any process, tangible results shown. The number of testimonies we harvest today is like on a minute. At that time, it wasn't like this. They just believed because they saw something and they believed. I want to say thank you to all of you guys that have believed from day one. And I also want to say thank you to my family. My mom had been on this call, back to back. My elder sister, back to back. My elder sister sent me a very heartwarming chat, a few days ago, and she said to me, I just want to thank you for hosting this conference. My life has been transformed. And when your family members tell you that you have transformed their life, then of course, you know that something is definitely right with whatever it is that you have done. I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. I want to say thank you to the level 2 parents. Thank you to the level 1 parents. You guys bring a lot of ginger. Level 1 parents don't get tired. A lot of ginger in that system. Thank you guys. Love you guys. And thank you to everyone who has supported this work in one way or the other. They published it. There are people who took it upon themselves to share about this conference daily. They were not doing it because they were paid. They just felt this message needs to go out. And today we streamed as at this morning, we were streaming at 85,000 views in the 7 days in this parenting summit. It is a revival. It's a revival. And that's my sister right here, right on this call, right? That's my sister, Genevieve Obiero. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Love you, sis. Thank you so much for being here. So, people say a prophet is not recognized in his hometown. No, that's not my case. I was called differently. I was called differently. I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you again to even my parents-in-law. My parents-in-law did a 51 years anniversary today of marriage. And I know while I was there, even my father-in-law had to come and say, "How is the conference going?" My father-in-law is a fan, a believer. I will write a book. He says, Prof says, bring it. I'm going to review. Prof edits my book and reviews it before it goes out. And something that I do not take for granted. I have so much support that is just so heavy. And I want to say thank you to our children, the twins, and then our foster daughter. If Naya Adedeji has been on this call from the beginning, yes, Mrs. Adedeji, our daughter, has been on this call from the beginning. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. You guys are a huge pillar of support. And I want to say that I will be resting by tomorrow. For those of you who want to come and say, coach, the conference has finished. Can you come and answer me?
Coach is going on vacation officially.
Thank you, really. Thank you, really, everyone. And we hope to see you at the TIP Annual Conference 2023. Provided that God, Jesus tarries, we're going to be here. We're going to be here in 2023, streaming again and again. And I'm sure with, more thousands and thousands of people. One of the things that I say about parenting is that if you think that parenting is just only you and your children, I do it alone, you're not telling your friends and your family to know what you know. The reason why I can sit down here gloriously and my children will go to a place and come back is because what I know is what my friends know. They understand it. They understand the mandate. So I don't need to say, this is what you need to do, or I'm afraid. No. They understand it. We are all working on the same. So I'm not afraid. I keep saying over and again that even if I die today, I'm not afraid. I am not afraid. I've actually been able to put, the foundation right. I just want to, ask you to also do the same. So we'll see you in July again in 2023.
2023.
The most transformational, conference. That's what we do. Don't bother about your expectations. People come to ask me, what do I expect when I join the academy? You have none. Drop your expectations somewhere.
And move.
TIP Academy is
the expectation.
To give you the expectation. There's nothing to expect because your expectation can't measure to what it is that you're going to have access to. I love you all. Thank you again, Joy Unspeakable.
Thank you, Coach. Right. We are being changed.
So
thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank
and
you so much, Coach. And there's so many thank yous buzzing in the comment section. People are blessing you. They're loving you. They are honoring you. Thank you so much. May the anointing, the oil on your head never run dry. In the name of Jesus. God bless you. Thank you for transforming our generation. Thank you, ma'am. Why are you smiling? It is you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Everybody asking for whatever resource that you want to find. I have so many resources. We have our books on Amazon, all of our books, Connect to Correct the Discipline that works. Every subject, like I said, that was shared on this conference, has been taught, systematically, and we've had books that have also helped us to go through it. And in the recent times, we launched the parenting plan. And that parenting plan, we're going to give it to the public eventually, yes. But for now, we're keeping it, preserving it for the parents in the inner circle to work with. When we work with it, we will come to you, in a manner. You can also have access to it. Thank you, everybody. And I want to specifically thank Chris Isweken. Chris Isweken. And Chris Isweken on every session. Amazing couple in the yard. Their child is still young, but man, I envy them. Sometimes when I see them, I'm like, try. See where they started from. I really wish. I just envy them. And if you're just starting, just go and give Thanksgiving. God is really
on your side.
All right, Joy Unspeakable.
Thank you so much, Coach, for the opportunity to be a moderator on this session and on all of the sessions that I've moderated. Thank you so much for this opportunity on behalf of all the moderators. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity. God bless you.
All righty. Thank you, everybody. And this will be the wrap. And that is it. You can find all of the videos in one place, a playlist called TIP Conference 2022. You can find all of that and have access. You can get copies of my books on Amazon. You can get them in Nigeria. Reach out to our team. You know where to find us. We're not hidden. All right. If you want to also have access to me, you know where to find me. We're not hidden. Do not forget to share your gratitude on your social media handles and also tag us. Remember, this conference wasn't free. People's blood have gone into this conference, and I want you to be grateful for it. Thank you again, and do have an amazing, amazing rest of the 5 months in the year. And hey, until we see you again in the next 12 months at the TIP annual conference. God bless you.
Hi, my name is Wendy Logan and I'm the founder of Intentional Parents Academy. I love to work with parents. In fact, I'd say that that's my super power, if there's anything like that.
Hello everyone, my name is Uluwatoyin Osage-Obo. I am the director of Just Live Light Academy and the founder of the Discipleship Academy. I believe that God has called me to raise children to be Christ-centered and to live to their best potential in the world and affect their generation.
My name is Auntie Etimaumi. I'm the founder of the Responsible Teens Academy, a teen mentor and certified counselor, also known as Mama Purity.
My name is Triumph Adekule. I'm the convener of Tea and the Boys. I'm an image consultant, and I'm a parent.
My name is Idris Adekule. This is my amiable wife. I'm an auditor. I'm a risk manager, and I'm also a parent of 3 kids. I'm so much interested in parenting because it has become a serious issue.
Hello everyone, my name is Joy Eshimokai. I'm the founder of House of Gladness. I'm a banker, I'm an author, I'm a life coach. Am I supposed to say I'm Coach Wendy's friend? And I'm the official MC of the Intentional Parents Academy.
My name is Chedozie Eze, and I am a teens coach, author, and founder of Teen Success Academy. I'm also the convener of 360 Success Bootcamp, themed Thrive, a bootcamp where we raise teenagers.
My name is Ebuka Ede. I'm the founder Save the Boys Initiative and the convener Boys Leadership Academy. I'm a boys coach. Oh yes, the king of boys. I'm passionate about raising boys that will thrive, into raising boys that will make the global impact that we desire to see in our world today. We mentor, equip, and empower boys to live positive and productive lives. And we're in this space doing great things.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Meribeth Chima. I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and Community. I am a parent coach, an educator, and an author.
My name is Kunle Ologe, marriage counselor and founder of the Marriage Seal Academy. Wendy Ologe is my wife, obviously. Wife for over 13 years, mother of my children, and personal coach. Yeah, I need to add that part.
Whoa, is Coach Wendy to me. I call her Prof. Coach Wendy is my mentor, my teacher, my shepherd, let me use that word. And you know, one of those people that when you go left, she just tilts your head back small. So she's everything to me, and she's my parenting torchlight. if I'm allowed to use that word.
Coach Wendy is an inspiration. She's someone that inspires. She's someone that when it comes to parenting, you look up to.
Coach Wendy, she's my mentor and my coach. I met her last year, and I must say it has been an amazing journey. My life has been transformed. My belief system has been transformed. And one thing about Coach Wendy is she is very value-centered. She thrives on principles and structures. You cannot have a relationship with her and not put your life in order. In terms of parenting also, she's been able to help with knowledge, you understand, knowledge on my parenting journey. So I must say it's been an amazing relationship.
Coach Wendy is my friend and coach. She plays these two roles awesomely. She's a committed friend, very loyal, and always ready to see you become better. She's a coach also because she would stop at nothing to ensure that you are what you're supposed to be as a parent.
Mother in Israel, Mama Cathedral, my mentor, my fire. Anytime I feel like, just sleeping, I'll just tell myself, what will Coach Wendy be doing now? She's somebody that inspires and motivates me in this work. People just see how far I've gone and they're like, how did you get here in a short time? I say, a lion cannot give birth to a dog now. I say, look at the lion that gave birth to me and see the fire.
Coach Wendy is many things. So Coach Wendy is my mentor. Like the first time that word, I used that word was actually Coach Wendy. She's also my coach and that person that has told me the truth more than, in recent times, she's like that person that will tell you the truth with all sincerity. Yes, that's what Coach Wendy is.
Coach Wendy is plenty things. Coach Wendy is Coach Wendy. Coach Wendy is my coach, mentor, advisor, someone I regard lately as an elder sister. You know that person that can call you and bring you and say, hey, come here. So that's who Coach Wendy is to me, and of course, you know that I hold her in high esteem.
Coach Wendy is my friend. She's my coach. She's my mentor. She's my sister. She's an inspiration. She's the reason why I'm here today. Sincerely.
So I usually like to say that even before I met parents, I've started intentional parenting. So a lot of people think that, some of the things that we do them because we meet parents, we need to show them. No, we started doing it and you came to meet us doing it. One of the reasons why I started the Intentional Parent Academy was my own experiences as a parent. I got the opportunity to become a parent to a teenager when I just started parenting. And that showed me the flaws. That showed me the things I didn't know how to do. So instead of fighting or arguing, I knew that there was a better way. So I went on a journey to educate myself. I went on a journey to do courses, to find ways. And you know what? I started to do magic. And I found out that knowledge was everything about parenting. And after a while, people around me would say, why do you want to keep this to yourself? Why don't you want to teach the world what it is that you know? I see your children. There's just something about the way you parent. And boom, somewhere, somehow, I got the inspiration by God to actually begin to run an academy for parents. And today, we run one of the biggest academies in Africa. I like to call it the Parenting Harvard. So yes, that's how the Intentional Parent Academy started.
Yeah, interestingly enough, when it comes to parenting, when we first got married, I was the one who first started teaching my wife parenting. And along the line, she decided to go and study more. And so she did a lot of studies, did a lot of reading of books, did a lot of courses, and eventually emerged as a parent coach. So right now, I'm under her tutelage, and truly, I love learning. And anybody who has the knowledge that I need, I will humble myself and learn from the person. And so I learn from her every day. I attend her courses, I attend the Inner Circle program. I'm always a part of all the teachings and everything. So yes, it's been interesting.
Inner circle is better experienced than explained because it's just, I don't know how to call it. I see Inner Circle as a city without words. It's a city that has everything you need on this journey. Because when you remove parenting and this learning, what else do you want to, you can achieve the success you need. Inner Circle is that place. I always call it the quarry site where we are made, where we are sharpened. As in, there are chisels, there are hammers that are just sharpening you, chiseling out everything that is unwanted to make you fitted to be that parent that will build your child to wholeness.
I joined the Inner Circle program in December after I met Coach Wendy. And I remember when she had talked to me about the Inner Circle program. My son is 17. I was like, what else? What am I going to learn? What else is there to learn? But I must say, when I joined the Inner Circle program, it's an amazing accountability system. And because so many times, the problem is not with what we know. The problem is in the actions, actually being consistent with what we know. So that's really helped me.
I've been in the Inner Circle for 2 years, but I've actually been tutored by Wendy for about 4 or 5 years now. 2016. As a matter of fact, my daughter graduated on Saturday. And when I sat there in that hall, everything that came to me was Coach Wendy, because it was because of that, my daughter, that I went to look for Coach Wendy. And being in the Inner Circle reassures me every day that I'm in the right path. The things we do, it has made it very easy for me or us to be able to connect with the children with the tools we are given every day. I would never have even imagined those things. When they post those things, I'm like, where did they get this from? So it's been a journey. Inner Circle, if you're not in Inner Circle, I will hold you by the balls, That's just by the side.
The Inner Circle is a parenting community. It's a huge parenting community. And it's been a great pleasure and opportunity to be part of that community. It's a community that has been on the prize. It's a community that needs to get more into the world. Come to learning. A lot has been learned. Personally, I've learned so much from the community, and also as a father, as an husband. Even as it has made a better person, even in my office, and even to people I relate with.
The Inner Circle for me is that program that fills all the gaps for me in my parenting. So as a parent coach, it's very easy for you to, go about trying to, help other people with their challenges. And sometimes you forget that you have your own challenges too. So the Inner Circle for me is that total filler, is a system that reminds me that there's so much to be done, and thank God for the Inner Circle. I am able to create that, not balance. I'm able to fill all the space that I ordinarily would have left in my parenting. So it's an awesome program, and it's been a great experience for me.
I think I'm one of the first yada
fools without proofs. You can't see the kind of results and proofs we have at the inner circle and tell yourself you want to jump out. Sometimes if you would just compile the results into a book, just the testimonies alone. If people think inner circle is for people who don't know what to do, no, it's a place for kings. It's a place you come there and see coaches of coaches. You come there and see fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers. It's not a place for people who don't just know what to do. It's for people who are intentional about their journey. And like I say, I can never get tired of hearing Coach Wendy. And I don't want to expire on time. So if I'm not learning, how am I going to continue in this work that I'm doing? So if I'm not inspired, then I'm going to expire. And I don't want to expire.
Coach Wendy's relationship with us is amazing. You see her genuinely interested in your assignments, in your work. She does this through referrals. She does this through recommendations on, other trainings. She's constantly looking for how every one of us stays on our lane and then dominates that space. She always says to us that, look, the work is a lot. We don't even need to bump into each other. We can stay where we are, do what we have been called to do, and still become stars and still shine. She's amazing at putting everybody together.
Coach Wendy is that coach or that person that, think of the person that has the umbrella that takes everybody in. I don't know of another person that wants the good of everyone at the same time. She's constantly telling you what you need to, focus on. She's constantly interested in your success, and sometimes you think it's just when it comes to work. No, it's not just work. Somehow she manages to connect with you, even with your family, your children, and all that. So she is a unifier. That's that in one word.
Coach Wendy is rightly called the parenting bishop. You know what the bishop does? And just gathers all the other men of God in the cathedral, and so she has an awesome relationship. She's a people person. She has this capacity to magnet different kinds of persons and work with them at their different capacity. She's an activator. She empowers people and activates them to succeed on their journey. That's what she does with a whole other coaches that works with her in the space.
Coach Wendy is just selfless. She's a giver.
I believe so much in Coach because I can see her sincerity. When Coach calls you, you're gisting, right? Having fun and everything, and then something comes up that has to do with your child. She just switches. You can see that she's not doing this, she's not faking it out there. She knows that your children turning out right is a plus for her. She usually will tell us as our friends that if your children turn out badly, people are going to come for me. So she's committed to ensuring that she's your friend, yet she's ensuring that your children, her children, turn out well. I love Coach so much because people don't know this part of her. She's very accountable. Yeah, there are a lot of things that as her friends and sisters, we can call her to say, Coach, check this. Coach, check that. And she's very humble. Trust me, she will obey. She will comply.
I mean, when somebody just leaves everything she says, everything she says, the strategies she talks about, she practices them. The principles, she lives them. I mean, when somebody is what she says personalized. How can you not believe? She's my friend. I believe in her. I see her live everything she says. I see her do everything she asks everyone to do. I see her model it. I see her raise her kids exactly the same way she teaches us to. I mean, who wouldn't believe in someone that lives what she preaches?
Hey, Mama Cathedral. That one is so funny. Mama Cathedral, the VC. Which other one now? Mama Cathedral, Coach Wendy, the VC. Is there anyone I've left out now? I'm also giving her the principle of parenting Harvard. Because she's just awesome.
Mama Cathedral, mother in Israel, the parenting bishop. The people are still saying Africa. He's the world bishop, world best coach.
So sometime in 2018, after the TIP Academy was launched as an academy officially, I thought of what it is that I can do for parents to make, parents begin to learn. And I thought of convening a free online conference. In that time in 2018, it wasn't popular to convene a conference online. It's not like now where everybody is actually streaming live for conferences. And, I got the inspiration to have people just come teach people in our community. And we did that, starting with my mentor, Taiwo Akinlami, and Tayo Yotim, and ZOB. These were just the three people who were at the TIP annual conference in 2018, and it was so impactful. I don't think anything had happened like that in the parenting space before. It was one of the best things that happened to many parents, and I thought this can be done in a larger scale as we go yearly. In 2019, we came up with having 20 coaches from all over the world, and in 2020, we had 28. By the time we were going to 2021, we were streaming live with 30 coaches from all over the world. And somehow I got in contact with, quite a number of parent coaches all over the world, because I was privileged to have spoken on global fronts, speaking at the Facebook Parenting Summit in 2019, being in the place of global parenting systems, teaching in a parenting forum for the Pakistanis, and it gave me access to quite a number of people. And today we have one of the biggest parenting conference ever that runs online, and we're able to reach parents, thousands of them. This year alone, we have over 1,000 parents who are going to be watching streaming live, and that's something to really be grateful for. So the Inner Circle program is what I call the Harvard of parenting. So I was sitting down in a church one of those days, and my pastor was preaching. It was something that was very unconnected to what I heard. And I heard, a voice say to me, parenting is not about tips and hacks. I need you to create a system that actually takes parents through a process. Because there's no tip here and there that parents are going to get that's really going to help their parenting. That same day, I came back and I called one of my accountability partner, Coach Etima, and I said, this is what I heard, and I need to move on it. I don't even have clarity of what it is and what I should be doing. But I've long, learned on my journey to trust God to be able to actually show me a clearer picture as I move. And as I moved on, to start the Inner Circle program, it was as if everything was opened up to me. And every year, I have been privileged by God to show me exactly what it is that I need to teach parents. At the beginning of the year, my team and I sit down to create a curriculum. Sometimes those curriculums, I'm wondering, where did you learn these things from? And I like to also say that, it struck me when I heard a friend, a mentor, Pastor Siri, say to me, some things are taught, some things are caught. When do you cut some of the things that you teach? And that is the truth. So the Inner Circle program is one of those things that I caught. And that's why the things that we teach, like I always say, it's not on Google. You can't find it. It's not something that you can say, oh, I heard it somewhere and I want to just Google it and just learn it. It's not on Google. It's not that's why it's called the Harvard of Parenting. The Inner Circle program is one of the best things that have actually happened to many families, and I'm grateful to God for it.
Also, welcome to the TIP conference, the TIP Parenting Conference 2022. And I wish that every parent be a part of this. It's an international conference. We have so many speakers, so much to give, so much to take.
The fifth of its kind. You cannot afford to miss this session. You miss, you lose. Get your friends, get your family, everybody get on board. Parents to be, join us at this 5th edition.
My advice to you is get a new jotter, and I'm not joking, a big one, and don't miss a single session, because if you blink, you will lose.
Thank you so much for joining us for the TIP Annual Conference 2022, the Parenting Advantage. I thought of the Parenting Advantage when I started reminiscing on how I grew up. A few days ago, I started to talk to someone and I said, I was inspired by people like Flora Wapa, and I thought of it. I had access to these books just because my parents paid attention. So I had these books available for me to actually have access to. And every time I think about it, I actually had a parenting advantage. The question will be, what will you be to your child? An advantage or a disadvantage? This year's annual conference has been put together to show you how you can become an advantage to your child. With 32 coaches from all over the world, I don't like to say that this conference is free. I like to say to you that this conference has come at a price. But there are people who have paid the price. People who have taken the burden of what you should have paid. And I want you to be grateful for the gift of the TIP Annual Conference. Welcome and congratulations to you all.